Hey guys, this is Hunter with Nelson Insurance. We're an independent insurance agency and we specialize in contractors, trucking, and then some property and manufacturing and such. Um, our top deal is trucking, and so I'm going to go over some of the best companies because I know there's a lot of truckers out there. It's a huge industry, and everybody's looking for the top companies to work with and who's going to offer the best rate for what you have. Obviously, there's going to be a huge difference varying on if you are a new driver with 2 years less than 2 years for your CDL experience, or you've been in the business for less than 2 years. And then obviously, once you start getting into it, rates get down a lot cheaper. You get more companies. I'm going to go over companies I have and companies that I don't have as well, but I've seen. So we are based out of South Dakota. We're opening up a location in Minnesota here soon too. So I'm going to talk about the Midwest. Um, if you are a new venture, you don't have a ton for options. The best companies are going to be Progressive, Berkeley Prime, Home State, and Cover Whale. So Cover Whale requires 2 years of CL experience, and they also have a dash cam in your truck at all times, and they're all right on rates. I'll just go in order here. So first, be Progressive. They're going to take anybody and everybody. They'll even do well on people who've been driving forever. I just did a local grain guy. I beat Great West by $2,000, and he was coming in at $4,000 a year for his truck with Progressive, and he'd been driving for 30 years, and he's a local guy. So Progressive was popular. They take everybody. They're a great company. I get asked a lot if they're good in claims because people have said they've had bad experiences with them. Personally, I've not had any bad experiences with Progressive. They've done very well in claims. We have a lot of claims with them, and frankly, they're just such a large company. I think so there's a lot more for claim experience. I think that's the deal there. Or Berkeley Prime is going to be a little more your high risk. They're going to take a lot of people too. Price not going to be as competitive as Progressive most of the time, but they are another great option. Home State in the Midwest, or Berkshire Home State Companies, or BHHC, not real big in the Midwest. They are big in the states that nobody wants to touch: California, Florida, all those different type of guys. Um, Big there, but in the Midwest, not fantastic. If you are a little more south, they might be good after a year into it because what I have heard is that Progressive will give you a little bit of a tease rate the first year. Second year, they'll jack up that rate. And then Home State really shines then, and they're also very good with box trucks. You know, box truck, they're going to be the one you want to go with. Lastly, Cover Whale, I've talked a little about them. Um, there are a lot of AI. I have not heard fantastic things on the agent side, but as for the consumer side, I think they're all right. They've written 500 million in the last couple of years, which is a lot for a newer company. Now, if you've been driving for quite a while and you've had your company for quite a while, everybody knows the name Great West. I personally don't have them. There are hardly any agencies that have them. There is one agency in South Dakota that has them, and in Minnesota, I believe there is two. I could be wrong on that number. Um, so very limited on who offers them. The thing is, they're very picky on who will take, and they can be very competitive. I've beaten them. Um, so if you got them, they do offer good rates, but the agents that have them almost always will say Great West, whether it's the best option or not. So if you're with them, does it mean it's the best option? No, they do offer good rates sometimes though. Next would be Northland. I think Northland personally is probably one of the best. Almost nobody has them again, and they're not shoving business down the agents' throats. We only are able to offer Northland through an MGA or through a brokerage. And so hardly anybody sells them because you can't get a quote right now. It takes about a week. Agents get less commission, so they're not more apt to sell them. But really, they are a very competitive company. They're owned by Travelers, the second largest commercial company in the nation. So Northland would be my top pick. They do well on local stuff. If you're a local grain hauler, they're gonna smoke everybody's rates every time. you're experienced, they're going to kill it. Next, again, you got Progressive. That's on the old stuff. Again, I just said I had somebody who had been trucking for 30 years within 150 miles, and they smoked Great West because the agent didn't ever offer Progressive. They had Progressive, but they're going to offer the company that pays the highest commission, which was Great West. So Progressive's still another good option, no matter how long you've been trucking for. Next up, you have Canal. Again, they operate a little bit like Great West, and they're a little picky on who they'll take. They offer great rates, but again, they don't offer direct deployments. They're through a brokerage. And so I'd say they're very comparable to Great West, but nobody's selling them because, yeah, wait times, they're less commission, um, and they're not a direct carrier. So you do have that. Another great company, but you don't see a lot of these agents selling it like they should be. And then you got Cover Whale. Cover Whale, a little more information on Cover Whale is they're an MGA, which means they offer two different companies. They offer Night Specialty, and they offer Everspan, I believe. I believe it is Everspan. And those two companies go through Great Whale or Cover Whale, and then Cover Whale offers the driving the driving camera and kind of goes through those lines. They very hit or miss on rates. I see a lot of people don't use them because of the AI, and so on the agent side, they kind of suck. I've heard that they're slow in paying commissions, but that has nothing to do with the consumer. On the consumer, if they're competitive, which they are, they're very hit and miss. They'll be really high or they'll be really low. Some people are not a huge fan of the driving or the dash cam, but I believe that benefits them with rates because it helps prevent accidents and it keeps claims pretty straight and simple. Um, so those are some of the picks there. If if you've got anything huge, if you've got hundreds of units, thousands of units, Chubb be a solid option. They take anything over 1,000 units. They're extremely good at. Um, yeah, Carolina Casualty, great company there. And one I forgot to mention is Crum and Forrester. They're not here in the Midwest, or they might be, but they're not competitive remotely. When you get south, west, they're extremely competitive. They're big there. Crum and Forrester is a Fairfax company, so you're backed up by a big agency, and those are some of the best trucking insurance companies. You're looking for, I'm sure you guys are looking for the cheapest rate, but again, you don't want to be stuck with somebody who's going to have awful claims time. So when it comes to claims time, Northland's got the best claims out there. Another one I didn't even mention was Acuity. Again, very picky on who they take. They're like Great West. They're sold whether they're the best option or not because they shove business down the agent's throats. So they have a great claim experience though too. If you can qualify for them, Northland Canal, IAT is another one I'm forgetting to mention. So I will go over all these in at the very end of the video because I'm going over a lot of companies. IAT is another great option. Um, just like Canal and Northland, sold through brokerages, not sold as much as they should be. Very competitive here in the Midwest. So if you guys had to hear my top picks, I think Progressive is a great option if you're new. If you've been around for a little bit and you're local, Northland. If you're doing over the road, Canal is very good. Um, if you're offered Acuity or Great West, I'm not saying they're not great companies because they are, but just because you're offered them by the agency, I don't know that's the best option. They're just offered because they partner with that agency and they're getting paid higher commission and they're asked to write a lot of business with that company. So they are good options, but just be wary of that. So again, my top picks, I think Northland, Canal, IAT, Progressive if you're new, Prime if you got an accident or two and you're new, Home State and Crum and Forrester if you're down south. Those guys are great there. We represent IAT, Northland, Progressive, Crum and Forrester, Home State or BHHC. We have access to Cover Whale as well. We will have access to Prime and Canal here in the near future. Give me probably until March. So if you guys are interested or have any questions on trucking, we do a lot of it. My family does trucking. I know this stuff in and out. So reach out if you have any questions. I know trucking is very important, or keeping costs down on insurance is very important to truckers. And so we're here to help you guys. Yeah, thanks for listening. Again, I'm with Nelson Insurance, and we specialize in trucking.